can access cell formatting option in table views by clicking on the column. And then at the bottom, there's a place where you can select cell formatting, and this allows you to format these cells. So we're going to go, here are all the available cell formatting options, and that's what we're going to go through today. But just to illustrate what was already available previously, you could specify range where you can say from 20,000 to 22,000, the background color of text is going to be this color, and from 22,000 to 24, the background color would be, let's say, yellow. Okay. If I apply this now, you can see that the cells that were in range between 20,000 to 22 are colored purple, and the other ones that are selected the other range are colored yellow. You could also specify the text color instead as well. So let's remove that. Okay, you can have text color as well, and you can have also specify a bold for text color. What is added in the new version is, for example, this option apply to all row cells, where if I select this, then all of the row cells are going to be formatted based on this one column. Okay, so you can have it for all the row colored like that. Okay. To remove all of the rules or the formatting, you can just click on clear all. Okay. So that was more or less what was available previously, but in the new version, one of the cool things we can do is we can highlight the top or the bottom rows. So you will maybe highlight the best customers, best salespeople who's doing not so well. You can use that and notice that right away. And you don't even need to have the table sorted. So here I can see there's some green, and there's some of them are purple. If I select the sorting option here, you'll be able to see that the top ones are green and the bottom ones are purple. So if I'll go ahead and remove the formatting, the ordering by selecting order by and then none. And let's go back to the table and set this up. So this table has no formatting yet. And how you set it up is, again, go to cell formatting. This time we're going to select the top and bottom. And by the way, we're not going one by one. I'm starting from what in my opinion is the simplest one. So we start with the simplest examples, and that's going to get harder and harder as we go on. For top and bottom rows, all you have to do is select how many of the top rows you like to see. So top five of the highest value ones are going to be highlighted in this green color, and the bottom 5, or maybe we can select bottom 4, are going to be purple. If I apply this now, and I'll see, okay, could be true. If I sort this, you'll be able to say, okay, top 5 we have green, the bottom are purple. Okay, makes sense. So let's remove the formatting. I don't want that for the report. And that covers the top and bottom rows. What we have next is exact value. So maybe you have some kind of property selected for a cell for the rows. In this case, this row shows the customer category for customers. And what I can do, I can, for example, copy this because I want to have these highlighted. Go ahead and do cell formatting again. And this time I will select exact value here. And by pasting in or putting in this value that I just copied, I can say, oh, give me a background color of this gray. Apply, and now all of the customers that match this value are going to be colored this way. It's really nice if you like to just click overview or quick understanding of what you're looking at, because you don't have to read it. You can just check the color. Okay, yeah, that's the credit customers. Makes sense. You can set up different colors again by just adding new rules like this. Okay. So the next one The next one is going to be heat map. You can set up heat map, and you can see here the higher the value gets, like the greener the color is, right? So we're going to start with red, which is going to very low value. Then the value is going to turn into yellow when it reaches like the middle point. And if it goes above the middle point, it does become more and more greener. Right? That's the idea. You can just take a look at the big picture or overview of a table and notice where are the highest values and where are the lowest values. Okay, so going back to the table again, let's format this. Now for this one, we're going to select this heat map. We're going to use heat map, and I'll use 4,000, 8,000, and 12,000. Right? So this is the lowest value. So when the value is near 4,000, we'll have a red color. If the value is closer to 8,000, we're gonna have a yellow one. And when it reaches 12,000, it's going to be green. Okay, so 4,000 red, 8,000 yellow, 12,000 green. If I apply this, you're able to see that 5,000 is close to 4, so it's red, but going closer to 12,000, now it turns green. Okay. So that is the heat map functionality. Next, we have regular expressions. And if I go back to this table, this is the result we're going to be looking for. So let's imagine that you have phone numbers registered in Hansa for your customers, and maybe you want to highlight the customers by their phone numbers first digits, because maybe it specifies a region for your country, right? So what I set up here is two cases where if the phone number starts with 02, then we're going to color this, or maybe the phone number ends with a 3. Okay, something like that, just to give you some ideas. And how you can do that is, again, let's go click on row, cell formatting, and this time we're going to use the regular expressions. And this is a little bit more advanced. And the regular expressions in general, it's a functionality for, it's more like for programming meant, but it's like you can put in sequence of symbols or numbers or specific things, and it's going to use that to recognize patterns in strings. Here, if you like to learn more, there is a documentation page here, regular expressions. I'm just opened it up here in new tab. We can see what's available, like some simple things that are available. So for example, you can use a simple match, right? So if there are two rows with John Smith and a row with Peter Johnson, you can put John, and it's going to match both of them because John Smith has John and Peter Johnson also has John in the name, right? So it kind of looks for the patterns in names. And you can also use something like the beginning or end of string. So the name starts with John. So John Smith will match this because it starts with John, but Peter Johnson wouldn't match this because it doesn't start with John. You can have the ending of a string. With this symbol, you can use alternatives. It's like an or, and then you can group these expressions by, and then you can go, if you want to go like more advanced, you can go ahead and read more about this in documentation or just in Google as well, where you can use also repeating elements, or it's like this has 3 numbers and with uppercase number 4 and such very, very specific functionality. But I'll try to keep it simple and use if a string starts with 02 or it ends with a 3. So this specifies, okay, starts, and this specifies if it ends, and then I put 3 or 02. Then we're gonna have the background for this, this color. So if I apply this, you'll be able to see this starts with 02. And we have some other cases where it didn't show up. Let me see if how did I Oh, I did put the wrong symbol. It was $3. See, very specific language. If I put a $, it also will color the ones that end with 3. So it was the $, so messed up the symbol there. So as you see, it's very specific, but it can be very useful in some cases where you need something like specific. I have some cases where customers use a similar functionality to filter, as this same regular expressions is also used if you use filter and use matches. You can also use this regular expression and find something like, oh, if the text starts with X or starts with a number, then we're gonna filter this, right? So that's also an option. We can use this same language. So that's about regular expressions. Okay. Any questions so far? See, all good. Moving on. So we just talked about all of these cell formatting options. You can have exact value, regular expressions, top, bottom, and heat maps. But on the top, there's another one where you can put in a custom formula and match it then with a specific formatting. So bear with me here. I have prepared like a test calculation here that just shows you what's the increase for item quantity compared to last period, which is 2019. Okay, so this is increased for 14%. This is negative by 8 based on item quantity. What I can do, I can copy this formula that shows me this percentage increase, and I can include this into formatting for this column. Okay, so again, cell formatting, and this time I will select custom formula. I'll paste in the same formula, so it will show return these values, and based on those values, I'll use a heat map that's gonna show me values based on the result from this calculation. So how this works is that if the percentage is from 0 to negative 50%, we're going to have the background red. If the value is around 0, then we're going to have the background yellow. And if the value is above 0, going closer to 0.2, we're going to have the color turn green again. Right? So, and this is kind of based on this formula from here. Right? So this is the coloring. This is the result. There was no quantity last year for this person, so that's why for this customer, so that's why the color is not marked. But you can see there's a lot of negative. All the negative values are marked red, and if it goes on positive, it's green. And I don't really need this one anymore. So I kind of have two one number that shows the number, and then there's some calculation that shows the cell formatting based on this other number.